8:35 on July 2nd, Administrative Services meeting. Roll call. I have Eric and Pam and Matt and myself. We have a quorum. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 5th meeting?
Seconded.
I did notice something wrong. There is a typo on your agenda.
Yeah.
You said the meeting was at 1:30, and I'm pretty sure the meeting was not at 1:30.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
Small little thing.
Not a big deal, but it did cause me pause. Did I miss a meeting? Any changes or corrections to those minutes? Not seen anybody raising their hand for it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No motion's approved. No one has signed in for public comments. Any member comments? It brings us all the way down to 7 routine consent agendas. Anything you want pulled off the consent agenda, folks?
7-2.
Then I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the elimination of 7.2.
Second.
Well, okay, we go to vote because this is consent agenda. Matt?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Eric? Yes. I'll vote yes. That takes care of everything with 7.2. Can I have a motion to approve 7.2?
I'll make that motion.
Second that.
Second by Matt. Matt, you wanted to go off? Go ahead. Tell me what you want to talk about.
Mostly the fact that never happy when a construction project goes over budget, but the fact that our other projects came in under budget to save this one, which is kind of a little heads up for the other projects though. That's it.
Thanks for that hot potato.
Can I just comment on that though, because I don't.
Sure.
So the capital budget was 4.2 million, probably spread over like 20 projects. And so when we're setting the budget a year ago, I mean, some of the projects are 700, 800,000. And so absorbing 40,000 into that, instead of inflating the budget by adding more budget, we just thought we would look at the projects as a whole, really, because they're all in the same line item.
Right, and I get that, and I realize some of that is the issue too. I also know from 40 years of construction that to miss a budget, whether it's based on more on percentages than it is on actual dollars. So depending on the percentage, I just applaud the fact that we have been watching these other projects staying on time and staying on budget in a very difficult time right now for construction and materials. So it's been, like Valley High and a few of the others, it's nice to see that building services is able to keep pulling these things off. It's appreciated. Thank you.
Any other comments on 7.2? If not, we will go to vote. Welcome.
Welcome, thank you. Sorry for my
Eric? Yes or no on 7.2?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Teresa?
yes.
Matt?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. That takes care of the consent agenda. Reports, capital plan update. I know you never go this early.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We can start down at Crystal Lake and we'll focus on the ARPA project that the health department and collectively we're working on putting together. We are through the design development process. The health department team and animal control side and nursing side have agreed to the drawings as they're presented. The budget right now looks to be where we expected it to be based on our programming, early programming and estimating. It's right there. We have a couple of alternates that will be designed into the bid process so that we have a little bit of room to move down if we need to, or to accept or not accept. And the alternates will be epoxy flooring within the space. If we don't get to that work, the flooring, in our opinion, is in reasonably good shape still. It could benefit while we're working in the building to be upgraded, but if it wasn't, I don't think it would be a huge loss. Likewise with some mill and overlay in the parking lot. Parking lot surprisingly is in still pretty good shape based on its age, but it could use some rehabilitation. So we're putting an alternate together that would have us grind a couple, an inch and a half of surface off and put new surface on. Whether we accept it or not, we can decide when we get to the resolution and the process at hand. So that's through design development. We hope to be releasing this project for bid in August, late August, with September bidding, October approval, something like that here, in time for December commitments for the ARPA funding that this project will use to fund. We can move on to this campus, to the coroner's suite and lab renovations. Those also have been through design development and are now in engineering. We met last week with mechanical and electrical engineers to look at the space specific equipment and electrical considerations. It'll be, it has some challenges, mainly under slab challenges. When the building was built, a lot of the electrical work was brought through underneath the slab, and we have to cut a lot of the slab out to increase the size of the freezers, coolers, adding the shower and toilet space to the lab space. So we're looking forward to some excitement there. So it'll be fun. The coroner's happy with the way the work is being programmed, and we think that it should go well. We're looking at December bids for that project. Administration parking lot. We're in, right now, the survey work has been completed, existing conditions are cataloged, and we have a kickoff meeting next Thursday, I think July 11th. That project will be a winter bid. Early winter, probably, we hope to have a spring start. We're still looking at phasing, whether we want to do the back first or the front first, and whether we want to try to get the whole project wrapped up in 2025, or do we want to split it in 2025, 2026, with the whole project being bid in this winter. And that's really just to get the public in and out and the staff in and out without creating difficulty there. So we'll see. We'll see. We know the work isn't that huge that we couldn't get it all done in one lift. It's just whether we want to or not. So we'll work through that. Valley High Memory Care. Anybody's been out there, temporary walls have been taken down that were separating the workspace, the current residential space, from the new space. It looks much different now without those walls. It looks a lot nicer. The walls kind of made it look a little confined in there. The millwork is going in, flooring is going in. Painting is primarily done. Exterior and interior glazing is happening today. We're still looking at a late October, November substantial completion of the construction piece of the work. And then Tom, of course, needs to, and his staff need to develop staff training processes and procedures. And how, I'm not exactly sure what their window looks like there, but I imagine that would be a multi-month process as
The
well.
state has to come out and
Yeah, the state
sign off on it.
So really, those are the highlights of the larger projects. We have multiple smaller projects. We're working on the specifications for installing the new rooftop units that we approved the purchase of. We're doing some work to upgrade the toilet rooms in the government center. You know, those are ongoing projects that we're working on in addition to this.
Questions?
Mr. Hartman is not here, but he is listening. He's at his lake house. He was anxious about the vote on the election center and is certainly appreciative of your support. He desperately wants you to know that the reason we went over budget was we had an extra HVAC unit. Can you add on to that?
Yes. When we got into doing the work in the building, Mr. Terrio felt that the back area that was a storage area for groceries, shelving, cans, whatever comes in on trucks, and then before it goes back out, he was needing that space to be a little more finished because he's going to be working with documents, storing documents, and preparing things to move to the front of the house back there. And there wasn't air conditioning. And the lighting was warehouse lighting, high bay lights, not really suitable for the type of work that needed to take place there. So new acoustic ceiling was put in I'd say 45% of that space. And a new rooftop unit was added to air condition that space as well. So you didn't end up with paper curling and the types of things that will happen when that types of materials are not stored with air conditioning in there. So really that cost increase is really focused on that work right there.
Thank you.
Any others? Thank you.
You're welcome.
HR. You fired everybody and we're all on our own. Okay.
Of course not. So it's been 10 days, not that I'm counting, and that means counting. But, we continue to just be super busy. We are happy to say that the comp study results are in. They're in effect as of yesterday, so that project is done. There's a lot of input that has to come in from the departments. We have to approve it, make sure they're doing their thing right. So there's a lot of process that goes into that. So happy that that's done. Some things that I'm going to be bringing forward here in the next few months. We've opened FOP 1, FOP 2, and court services. Unions will all be up for negotiations this fall. So that's going to be a big project. So we've had our first meetings with FOP 1 and 2. Court services, we've not received the demand for bargain letter yet. So that's all going to be coming.
Let's just stop there.
Yeah.
FOP 1, patrol.
Patrol.
FOP 2, corrections.
Corrections.
And we are the lead negotiator on that. In court services, the state is the lead negotiator. We work through the AOIC. You'll be kind of riding second chair there.
Yeah, yep.
And excuse me, is fall September, October, November?
Their contract ends the end of November. So we've already started to look at some comparables, look at their contracts. We've had some meetings already with Sheriff's Group on that. So more to come on that. That's going to be a big ambitious lift for the end of the year. 2025 will be quiet for unions. 2026, almost everybody comes up at 1 year. So we'll have a little bit of a break, but so we'll be busy through the end of the year. So we are already started discussions and planning for open enrollment and the performance reviews. Those both happen in the fall, but there's a lot of anticipation that we have to get ready for those events to happen. Working with Carrie, my new best friend, on budgets this afternoon. And the wellness events are continuing to happen. We've had some really fun events. We had a pickleball challenge with ice cream event, and that was a fun turnout. So we were happy to do that. We also had a bike safety training last week. So we had a gentleman come in and talk about some bike safety. So I think that was really helpful. We've launched the Salvation Army School Drive Supply, and we have a blood drive at the end of this month. Yes, the end of July. Also, IMRF will be on site for 2 days, the end of July. These dates will all come out in emails. They're going to be doing here for 2 days. They're going to be doing some open training sessions as well as some one-on-ones with employees that are getting ready to retire. So we're happy to welcome them in. In my spare time, I'm still on the operations committee meeting for IPBC, which helps us really get that first view of new things that are coming to IPBC. We vote on and hear from new vendors, new contracts, so that's a really, really good place to be. So, and one thing I wanted to mention is a lot of people can't attend some of the events. We are working diligently to record, like the bike safety. Gabrielle Johnson, she's actually going to be back this Friday to do another talk on mental health. So we're recording those, and they're all out on SharePoint, so employees can actually sit and watch the videos and during their schedules. So we've been really pushing for that. Any questions for me?
Thank you.
I have one comment. Suzanne has been kind of doing some research with neighboring governments about what we should anticipate in terms of the non-union wage increase, and we'll likely have that to you next month.
Okay. Well, happy 4th of July.
Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you.
Good morning. It's time for the communications report. All right, so for the members of the public who are watching remotely, my name is Alicia Schuler. I am the Director of Public Affairs, and let's talk McHenry County Communications. So, first thing up the bat is the Communication Strategic Plan update. So one of the items on our Communication Strategic Plan is to reinvigorate the PIO network. To that end, I was very pleased when David Christensen, our EMA Director, gave me a call and connected me with different communicators from the village of Huntley to discuss a potential videography opportunity to record their upcoming active shooter drill. And again, I know that this may not sound on first blush like it's a strategic plan item, but this is an opportunity to build those relationships and to be prepared in the event of a disaster to call upon other people in other communities and be able to effectively message out to our people. So, more to come on that. We're going to have our first meeting on the topic tomorrow. It's been 2 months since I last came before this committee. Sorry about that. I know you missed me tremendously. But a lot has happened as far as collaborative communications in the past 2 months. You have the standard county administration collaborating with other departments. We worked with the treasurer's office to put out different communications regarding the taxes. We worked with the planning and development department to discuss talk and tour and disseminate press releases, recorded, etc. We also worked with the EMA on Field Day, which unfortunately was canceled, and we put out communications regarding that too. But we also had the opportunity to work with the courts to help them tell their story about their past recent open house. Some of you might have seen me there taking pictures and trying not to bother too many people with that. But we also got a communication from the courts asking us to put out information regarding a scam that was coming out. So again, we are proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with the courts and the sheriff's office, of course, to alert the public to the scam regarding the people saying that they're from the courts and that people had missed jury duty or something along those lines. So anyhow, we're very pleased to do that. But we also had the opportunity to work with outside agencies in the past 2 months. We got to work with the McHenry County Economic Development Corporation to develop a press release discussing the new appointment of the executive director, Mark Picos. We also were called upon by CMAP to help them promote their safety plan, their speed safety communications campaign. And we did that along with the Division of Transportation. And the Department of Health and the Emergency Management Agency partnered up together to develop a list of cooling centers and put it together to have a press release for the public to inform them how to stay safe during hot weather. They also worked with the state of Illinois to incorporate our cooling center information with an overall map across the state of cooling centers. So kudos to them and great job working together and working with the state. As for communications of note, the health department really rocked it in the past 2 months. I'm just gonna say it flat out. They had 2 very successful communications campaigns that went through. The first was the one that they did for Operation Dropbox. 8,283 pounds of goods were delivered to our community veterans. Or to the Veterans Path Hope to give to our community veterans. So seriously, well done. They got the word out and they seriously broke records. Last year, they only collected 5,466 pounds, so well done. But they also had another communication that was funded by grant funding, and that was a paid communication that reached 2.4 million, or had 2.4 million impressions. So impressions, what am I talking about that? That means that people saw it 2.4 million times. Now, how many people that is? That's kind of an open question there, but still, 2.4 million impressions. That's getting your message out there a ton. And they also got 14,000 clicks on their advertisement through Google. So that's going to translate into a serious uptick for the Illinois Breast and Cervical Cancer Program. And they already anecdotally have had an influx of additional patients. So good for them, getting their message out there, using grant funding, not tax dollars, and making sure to help the people of Hennepin County. Follower growth and reach. So I usually put this information forward. Sorry, it's a 2-month period this time around. We've had increases across all 4 channels. And Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn had seen a jump in reach in the month of June over the month of May. Instagram has not. And you can see the list of all the top 3 posts in each channel by reach and engagement below. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah.
Not much of a question, more of a statement. There's been a sweep from northeastern Illinois towards north central Illinois of counterfeit $100 bills coming into our communities. If you have an opportunity, I know you have more reach than I do. I just get this from law enforcement friends and stuff, and they say it's moving our way. There are specific numerics to these bills, so I guess they're fairly easy to find if we can put out the information on these numerics.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any others? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're up.
These guys are taking all my notes. HVAC unit, we did that. Non-union wage study, we did that. Got a few good notes related to internships. And the first is the rotational internships that the Manufacturing Pathways Consortium has been working on now into its 3rd summer. You'll recall this is your Advanced McHenry County money that's helping to fund a portion of wages of these interns. We're in our 3rd summer, and we just started our 2nd cohort of this summer, so we're into our last 5 weeks. There's going to be a celebration of the internship program August 8th at MCC at 6 o'clock, so if anybody wants to be there, that would be great. We have 93 interns involved in this last 5 weeks. 19, this is a statistic I found interesting, guys. I sit in on the Manufacturing Pathways Consortium meetings. The first 2 summers generated 19 full-time positions. 19 18-year-olds are making good wages, so I think we got to consider that a victory. That's what we wanted to see happen. The other victory that we're looking for was making this program exciting and accessible for employers to want to continue into a 4th year, and that is happening. The consortium has secured a 50% match on salaries from the Illinois College Board for the 4th year, so they're already kind of ramping up on how they're going to market this 4th year. So I think that's really it's what we wanted. We wanted this thing to keep going. We wanted sustainability with our Advanced McHenry County program, so that's awesome. Other things related to interns. I want to introduce Samantha Jellin. Samantha's volunteering her time with us this summer, for at least for the next 4 or 5 weeks. Samantha will be a senior at Coastal Carolina College of Charleston. Excuse me. Samantha is a Dundee Crown graduate and going to be a senior at College of Charleston. One of the key things we've had Samantha working on, and this is why I wanted her here today, is board rules. She's becoming a fast expert in board rules, and she's looked at the top 12 largest counties in the state, and downloaded all their board rules, and she's kind of going through those and seeing what are other counties putting in their board rules. So kind of setting the table for next time around when we look at board rules, how do we want to best lay them out? How are we seeing other counties structure their board rules, and what kinds of things are they looking at, and how might we lay ours out in a little bit different manner? So thank you for that. She's got lots of good ideas on that stuff. Last month you approved us seeking a paid internship starting in the fall, and we were able to secure. Alicia is going to have a gentleman working for him as he works for his next 2 years as an NIU MPA intern. He's a kid who just graduated from UW La Crosse, and he's from suburban Milwaukee, but he's going to be moving down here and starting with us on October 20th. So that's awesome also. What else I got? Moth traps. We got about 75 moth traps out around the county. It's not too late. It's not too late. But Scott, if you're listening, we got them out there. That's all I got.
Any questions for Pete? Thank you. Future topics, anybody have any on there? I actually had written down before the meeting that I wanted to know when our FOP contracts are up, but that was already taken care of. Anything else?
Like I said, well, I think we'll have non-union wage increases for discussion and hopefully a vote next month.
Okay. If not, I can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Pam, second by